finally putting America first.
He is the Energizer president, going from rally to rally with just days left before the midterm elections. The mainstream media have been saying for months that a big blue Democrat wave is coming to wash over Trump and his party. But aboard Air Force One in his private office, the president told CBN's Jenna Browder and me that he's not buying it.
We're just a few days away from the midterms. How are you feeling, and what do you think about this so-called blue wave?
Well, I think the blue wave is dead, frankly, and I think we're doing very well. It looks like we're going to win the Senate, which is very important.
Mr. President, what about Nancy Pelosi's comments? She's already kind of spiking the football with "we will win, we will win." What do you make of some of that?
Well, I haven't seen her comments. I know that, look, she's been losing for a long time, so, she would like to win. She hasn't been doing too well. We'll see what happens. I think we're going to do very well in the House also.
Our trip aboard Air Force One was a virtual whirlwind. At our stop in Florida, we went backstage for a glimpse of the calm before the Trump campaign storm.
The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
And as usual, the president was in rare form.
Who voted? Who voted? Oh, wow. Everybody voted already?
Here on the ground in Florida, the energy for President Trump and his Republican candidates is palpable. And so is that deranged swamp anger.
Yeah, and I would also say that he is dishing out the red meat, as we know. He does it all the time at these rallies. So the question is civility, or, as his critics say, lack thereof. It's something we discussed with him on Air Force One. We've heard so much about hostility and incivility, and the media has been on you, as this just in, the media has been on you. What kind of role do you believe that you play? Do you feel like you have any responsibility in this whatsoever?
Well, I think the media is extremely unfair. It has been from the time I announced. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm Republican, I'm conservative, many other reasons, and probably me too.
He specifically believes that they breed dissension by unfairly covering events like his trip to the scene of the synagogue shooting.
We had a great day. It was so respectful of the office of president. And if you got home and if you read the New York Times or the Washington Post, or if you saw any of the networks, you would say it was violence, it was riots. I mean, it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And everybody that was on that trip agreed with us. It was so wrong what they did. It was so phony.
There are people kind of following up on that who like to call you anti-Semitic, who like to call you a racist, Mr. President. What would you say to these people?
Well, the word racist is used about every Republican that's winning. Anytime a Republican is leading, they take out the R word, the racist word. And I'm not anti-immigrant at all. I'm all for people coming into the country legally and people based on merit. But when you see a caravan that's pouring up to our country with thousands of people, maybe 10,000 people now, look, we're not going to let them come into our country. We have 10, and we might even go up to 15,000 soldiers on our border. We are building a wall in its own way. We're putting up walls of barbed wire. And when you look at what we're doing, they're just not coming into our country. They might as well go back now. But take a look at the violence that they've created down there, the level of I mean, these are not angels, as you would say. These are not angels.
You say you're not going to let him into the country. What is this about tent cities? And that could be a tricky situation.
Well, we're going to build housing. Obviously, it has to be built very fast. And we're going to give them better housing than many of them have. We're going to hold them. We are not going to release them. We're going to hold them until their deportation hearing goes, and their asylum hearings.
No catch and release, right?
No, we're not going to do catch and release. Catch and release is no good. Obama proved that.
As issues like immigration get touchy at times for some, evangelicals continue to stick with this president. The question for Trump is, will they do so even though he's not on the ballot next Tuesday?
Well, they're going to show up for me because nobody's done more for Christians or evangelicals or, frankly, religion than I have. You see all the things that we've passed, including the Johnson Amendment and so many things that we've nullified. Nobody's done more than we have. Mexico City, take a look at that. Things that, frankly, until Ronald Reagan, I mean, nobody nobody did anything. So I know they're very happy with me. We've seen they're very happy. The question is whether or not they're going to go out and vote when I'm not running. I have no doubt they're going to be there in 20. I hope they're going to be there now, because it'll be a lot easier if they are, a lot better.
There are a lot of folks praying for you out there. We hear this all the time. You and Mike Pence hear this all the time. How has that moved you? Because a lot of people think, the empathy factor with you as president is on the low end, if you will.
I don't think they do think that. I think they think
the
it's
critics
on the high
think
end.
that. The critics.
Well, maybe the critics say it because they're doing anything to get us all out of office.
Yeah.
No, I think we've had tremendous support in the form of prayer. And I get it all the time. I'm praying for you, Mr. President. I'm praying for you. I hear it so much. It's nice. And it's great to see it and it's great to hear it. But all the time, people are coming up to me and they're saying, Mr. President, I'm praying for you. It's very nice.
While President Trump appreciates the prayers, he will be looking for votes to carry him and his party over the finish line next week. With Jenna Browder aboard Air Force One, David Brody, CBN News.